Welcome back. It's been denials from all fronts today. First, there were reports that the Hawks issued a warrant of arrest for ANC Secretary General Magashule. Then the people said to have issued that warrant denied it. And then again, Magashule denies knowing about the arrest at all. So what's actually going on? Our political editor, Vuyo Mvoko, is going to put all of this into perspective for us. He joins us now live. So Vuyo, it's been madness since last night, right? We saw so many reports saying that there's been a warrant. We saw another report saying that Magashule says there'll be a Hollywood-style arrest. But today, a totally different story. Let's start with what the Hawks are saying.
Well, the Hawks, as they have been saying, I remember being in a conversation with Hangwane Mraudzi in the wee hours of the morning after 1 or thereabout. And he said exactly what he's saying now, that they don't know where this is coming from and what it is that whoever is behind this rumor is trying to do. Our colleague, Govan Whittles, at court, of course, caught up with Mulaudzi and got him to say something on record on the back of what they had been saying the whole morning, truth be told, that saying this is fake news. But take a listen to what he told Govan Whittles.
We have denied this so-called report. We started last night and we did make our own investigations to check whether this is true or not. And we found that there was no information in that regard. So we have distanced ourselves, and we still do, although we are being informed that his lawyers will be interacting with the national head as well as the NDPP. So we'll wait for that. But there is no warrant of arrest that we are aware of, and hence we said that we don't want to even entertain it.
So how is Magashule going to proceed then?
You see, this is where it gets interesting, Shahan, because two news outlets quoted Magashule as actually giving credence and credibility to the rumor. But if you listen to his lawyer, or what his lawyer is now saying, in, for example, the short interview that Jeremy Maggs had with him, it looks like it's now an about turn. All of a sudden, he doesn't really know as well where this all came from. And of course, if he gets questioned or something gets put to him, he is willing and prepared to actually answer any questions or cooperate with state law enforcement agencies. And that's where, for me, it gets a bit interesting. But take a listen to what his lawyer said a little earlier.
We have not been formally informed whether there exists a warrant to arrest our client. The eNCA has not communicated with us. Our client has not been formally informed that there is an investigation or that there's a warrant for his arrest. Therefore, we remain in the dark about that issue. Yes, we have written to the Office of the National Director of Public Prosecution, as well as the Office of the Head of the DPCI, the Hawks, to inquire about the existence or none thereof of the warrant of arrest and to confirm whether or not the article is authentic. We've also written to the Office of the National Commissioner of the Police, as well as the head of the Independent Directorate, which is housed within the National Prosecuting Authority.
So let's talk about the comrades in government and what they're saying. How do you foresee this ending?
That, for me, is probably the most important thing, or what should be a takeaway from what has been happening since yesterday. Magashule is one of 6 ANC officials who meet every Monday, whether virtually or face-to-face. Now, 3 of those people are in government. You have the ANC chairperson, the ANC deputy president, and the ANC president, who is also the president of the country. Now, those people have a responsibility to protect the integrity of state law enforcement agencies that may be used and abused by powerful people within the ANC. Now, if you cast your mind back 2 months ago, we had an interview with Ace Magashule, where he made this similar allegations, saying state law enforcement agencies were being used again to fight the ANC's factional battles. I asked him, where is this coming from? He said, I have proof. And he said he had also had conversations with, among others, President Cyril Ramaphosa and his deputy, D.D. Mabuza. He has told the ANC officials about this. A few weeks later, after that ANC-NEC meeting, I specifically asked the ANC president whether, in fact, Ace Magashule had said this. And he said, yes, the Secretary General has actually said this. And instead of rebuking him, for impugning the integrity of state law enforcement agencies by making allegations that he has not proved nor put forward the relevant facts. It's a problem because you are then eroding the public's confidence in these state law enforcement agencies. So for a while, Ace Magashule has been allowed to get away with murder. And I would argue that it is actually the responsibility of his comrades who are in government, who are representing the interests of all South Africans and not the factional interests of whatever groupings they may belong to within the ANC. It's about time that they deal with this matter. If he has proof, he must put it forward. But besides, he also has other avenues where people or institutions that he can approach and look for recourse. But earlier, of course, in the day when Jackson Mthembu, the minister in the presidency, who is also a member of the ANC-NEC, addressed an impromptu briefing about the cabinet lekgotla that got underway this morning. We put it to him that you do have this responsibility of looking after the intelligence and the integrity of state law enforcement agencies. Take a listen very carefully to the reply that he gave when I asked him about Ace Magashule specifically.
If Mthembu gets arrested for wrongdoing, Mthembu then can't hide behind the fact that he's a member of the NSC. Our law enforcement authorities and our crime-busting entities do not look at what political party you belong to. They look at what wrong have you committed. And from that end, we can assure South Africa that we will always be supportive of the work that is being done by our law enforcement authorities to curb corruption, criminality, and crime in our country.
We'll leave it right there. It's a mess, isn't it? Vuyo Mvoko is our political editor.